how could biodiversity in Nepal for 19 million bucks? We spent $20 million for a new Sesame Street in Iraq. It's true. You guys can look it up.
Yes.
$20 million for new Sesame Street in Iraq.
Good. I just want to drill in a bit about Doge and some of the what?
Quick, we've done it like 5 or 6
Yes.
times.
And about some of these like hirings and some of the unconstitutional moves they've been making. I don't like to be more useful here. When your claim is that you're trying to like make the government more efficient, and then you arbitrarily fire a bunch of people. Like for example, for the nuclear people, they were a bunch of them were fired, and then they had to get them back. You're wasting time and effort by randomly just and arbitrarily picking how to handle these cases. If your claim is that you want to be efficient, you should just government immediately start firing people. You have to like go over this with a lot more methodical effort, and that's not what's happening. And on top of that, the Doge administration will not save enough money. Even if you were to fire every single government employee, they would not even be able to get to a fraction of how much revenue we need to get for taxes. That's not enough, and it's not helpful.
No, I mean, I have
when
these
you go,
placards.
And when you go over those placards, you can flash them and say that like.
I mean, it's $115 million
Yes.
for equity assessment programs. That's a lot of money.
No, it does not. And with regards compared
This
to
is
how
not
much,
a lot of money?
compared to how much we need for to run the country.
Hold on. This is a very important point
we
you're
need to
making.
we're talking about scale here. About $2.6 trillion of revenue comes from our income taxes. If you're going to make these cuts, you need to meaningfully
Hold on.
account for them.
This is a false argument. I'm glad you're making it, which is that we shouldn't cut it because it's not that big of a deal.
No, that's not what I mean.
So should we cut this? $115 million for equity assessment of existing program policies.
One
cut.
The point is that if we're going
I'm going to make the point, but
Okay.
do you think this should be cut?
it depends. You need to make the argument that it's actually good. You can't just flash the dollar
No, I'm
sign
going to flash
and
it.
then say
Equity
that it's bad.
assessments of existing program policies, $115 million
Yes,
bucks.
you have to justify that this program is helpful
No,
or
see,
not. You have to justify the existence of the program.
Yes, it should not exist.
Why? Why does it not exist?
Well,
Why
first
should
of
it
all,
not exist?
the president signed an executive order saying no more DEI.
Okay.
Equity assessment should have no place in the U.S. government because
Why?
equity is not constitutional. It's not in the U.S. Constitution. It's not an American value.
Why?
It's about
It's not
redistribution. And
Yes,
$115 million is a grotesque amount of money to spend on it. So you should get rid of it to save taxpayer money. Now,
it's not
to your
saving
point,
taxpayer money.
it's $115 million to get rid of this. Now, it's also $144 million here of empty buildings. How about empty buildings?
Again, you can't just say empty building.
Well,
you have to go over a detail.
No, we did. That's why there's 97 of them. They reviewed the leases.
Yes.
They're vacated
Yes.
because of COVID. That's $144 million. So right here, I have $330 million. We're going to keep going, right?
Yeah, you can keep doing that.
No,
but
but
you have to actually just justify why the policies
see,
are helpful or not.
this is
They
what's
can
interesting.
You can say how much they cost.
Hold on
but
a
if
second.
they do something useful for the government, then their prices make sense.
They're empty buildings. What use is happening for them other than landlords getting rich for nothing? The point is this. You think the government is innocent until proven guilty. I think the government, after what we've learned, is guilty until proven innocent. They have to justify why this money is being spent in the first place.
Wait a minute. That's how the law works. Innocent until proven guilty. You have to prove that
That's not how taxpayer money works, though. It's that if we find waste, you're going to have to over-justify why this exists in the first place.
Yeah,
Secondly,
but you just
hold on.
fire them. You just get rid of the program automatically before you've done the work.
But let me go back to one more thing. This is an argument they're making. Oh, it's not that much money. Even if you only save $100 in taxpayer money, that is a moral fight worth having. Yeah. That attitude is why we're $35 trillion in debt. Secondly, which is very important, if you annualize Doge's savings, you know how much they're on pace to save this year? $1 trillion. $1 trillion, which would then get us on path for a balanced budget. They're on pace because you say, oh, it's only $1 billion here. They've been in for 6 weeks. They've already saved $100 billion. Yeah. By December, they'll be at $1 trillion. Our deficit is $1.6 trillion. We're going to lower our deficit in such an increasingly important way, and you're going to learn that you actually don't need these government agencies to run a country, that these people are unnecessary, it's bloated, these bureaucrats don't do anything all day long, and we need to right-size it because we're a nation in debt. We know we're $35 trillion in debt.
Yes.
In debt.
Yes.
And the only way we're going to get out of it is if we're honest, be like, how about no more empty buildings? No more $115 for equity assessment program. Biodiversity in Nepal, $19 million?
Again, those can be important. You have to, those could be helpful.
Okay, so how could biodiversity in Nepal for 19 million bucks? We spent $20 million for a new Sesame Street in Iraq. It's true. You guys can look it up.
Yes.
$20 million for New Sesame Street in Iraq. And because no one has ever had the courage to look through the books and look and examine the expenditures.
But that's not what's happening.
No, it has happened. No, Biden, Obama, they never looked through any of the federal expenditures. And we got to $35 trillion in debt. This is the first time in my lifetime we have an administration going after the waste, going after the size of government to balance the budget so that you guys don't live as indentured servants and Russian serfs for the rest of your life.
Tell him, Charlie! Tell him!
Well, I just want to say, like, what?
Go ahead.
You don't need to interrupt people. Thank you. The point is, when you want to deal with this problem, you can either increase taxes or cut spending massively. Like, the point is that, like,
That is what they are doing.
these programs aren't efficient and helpful for getting to that goal.
Yes, I just proved to you that they're on pace for $1 trillion
You
of
did not
cuts.
just prove that.
Like, but even if it's only $1 billion or $2 billion, that's admirable and noble. That's just so we're clear.
Twofold. You have to both justify that these programs are bad, and then no, you can flash the sign. This is a program. It costs this much money. We should cut it. That's not an argument. For why the program
$1.5
is
million
good.
for voter confidence in Liberia.
Again, you can say that.
Do you know anything about Liberia? No. I happen to know a lot about it, but that's a separate issue.
It's not about what I know. It's about the people in the government making these decisions.
Yes, and they have proven themselves to be robber barons over the last 20 years. They're spending your money with reckless abandon and total indiscretion. And it's time that this is what's important. It's we the people, not we the government workers. And we've taken back the government.
The government workers are also American people.
Yes, but who works for who? Do we work for them or do they work for us? Which one?
Yes. They work for us. Obviously.
They work for us, yes. So we voted in November by popular vote and electoral vote landslide that this crap is over. And that's what we're doing. We overwhelmingly spoke. And so we're going to go piece by piece, department by department, and this is why it's important. You guys deserve a future where you don't have $35 trillion in debt, where you don't have $1 trillion
deficit.
deficit.
Solving that problem by doing this.
Again,
That's what I mean.
$1 trillion. You have to address this. They're on pace to cut $1 trillion by December. That's big. Big. That's 75% of our deficit.
Okay. But my point is that, like, you have to meaningfully increase taxes or cut something
you don't.
like cuts. Yes, you do.
Well, I know that's what he's doing. They are meaningfully cutting spending.
You have to cut tax. You have to either raise taxes.
No, you don't.
Or massively cut spending.
Got it. Let me just ask one final question.
Yes.
If Trump and Elon get this done and balance the budget and cut all this, will you give them credit?
It depends on how successful and wait, I am not finished speaking. Oh my God! It depends on how successful the country is afterwards. It depends. If you make a lot of cuts and the country becomes worse, then you didn't do your job.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Okay, so I think the guy is trying to push that this cut they're making is just too much. But I think it's a good call. Instead of increasing taxes, it's better to cut your spending. That is it. It's like you going to get several jobs simply because you want to make more money, instead of just cutting down your expenses and save yourself the stress and have more time for yourself. Do you get? I feel that is the best thing to do. You don't just, increase your production, or get more work, stress yourself the more, or like tax your citizens, keep on taxing them simply because you want to cut down bring down your debt. No, I think the best thing is to cut down costs, check what you are not doing right and cut it down so that at least your citizen can be happy. You understand? It's like we are in a society or in a society whereby the tax alone is too much. I'm a Nigerian, but I'm based in Ghana, and the high tax rate is just too much for the citizen. You see, it's making everything skyrocket. House rent is going up, transportation is going up because of, the high tax rates they have to pay the government. And by doing that, the citizens are also feeling the pain. And that is what Charlie is saying. Instead of the government increasing tax, to punish the citizen, to pay up the deficit, it's better, they cut down their expenses. If you know these expenses is not benefiting America, then cut it off. At the end of the day, you elected them for the betterment of American. You elected them because you feel they are capable. They are there to do the job. So let them do the job and handle the situation and make America great again. I think that is it. That is what everyone, I don't know why Americans are pushing against this. Because if you feel like whatever they are doing is helping America, then it's fine. I don't see why you should give people money to motivate them to vote or motivate them to speak out or something. I don't see reason. I know, yeah, they cut some. Donald Trump said he's going to cut some stuff in some part of Africa. I think Ghana, Nigeria were involved where they will cut down the HIV drugs they've been bringing. And I know, yes, we need it in Africa, but I feel that is something our leaders can handle. If you come to my house and I keep on feeding you, you won't learn how to walk or how to fend for yourself. But when I cut down some things, you will learn how to fend for yourself. You don't expect another country to be saving your citizen or preventing the spread of AIDS for a couple of years now, and you've not sat down and think that, okay, I think it's high time I take over from here. How will you be a developed country when you keep on relying on help from other country? You won't be able to stand on your own. And I think by Trump cutting down this, aids that are going out from American, or it will help other countries to, sit up. You can't be an independent country for 6 years and you're still relying on other countries to help out. You are exporting, the high tax rate is too much. You are taxing your citizens way too much. And now you are still depending on developed country to help out. So what are you using the tax for? And I think that is what Charlie is saying. Instead of keep on punishing your citizens by increasing their tax, then using that tax money to give out to developed country to help them develop. Like, Africa is blessed. That is the truth. We have natural resources. We have everything that will make Africa great. It's just greed that is, preventing us from growing. Those in power are not looking out for the well-being of Africa. That is the truth. They are looking out for the well-being of themselves and their family. If we get let's say, a president like Donald Trump that has the interest of the country at heart, someone that is already a billionaire, that is not looking out for making himself rich, I think Africa will be great, because that person will want to, put African in the map. Well, I'm just saying this because, yes, I'm based in Africa, but what this guy is saying is, he's saying out of sentiment. Whatever he's doing or saying is out of sentiment. Whatever Charlie is doing is out of logic, out of experience. He has seen things, and it feels like by this government doing this, they're helping out. They're trying to reduce their debts, trying to reduce, like he said, 30-something $1 trillion loan. Debts. They are in debt. So if they are to do this to bring down their debts, don't you think is a good call? And I think, to me, even if I'm not an American, I feel it's a good call. It's coming from a government that loves its citizen, that is ready to put the youth, save the youth from debts. I know African, especially Nigerian, we are in debt. Debts that, even if they share the debt among each citizen, the amount of money we have to pay is massive. So if we get a leader that is ready to help us cut down this debt, we'll be so happy. Anyway, this is a beautiful one coming from Charlie. I love this and I want to see more videos from him. If you have any recommendation, let me know in the comment section. If it is your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and remember blessed.